Hey everyone, Timola here from foxreviews.info and welcome to this week's edition of the weekly Forex Algorithm Review. I hope you're all well and that you had a great trading week last week. This edition of the review is for the 22nd to the 26th of October. And in a few moments, what I'll be doing is highlighting a number of important trading areas in the market. However, before we get into this week's review, I want to let you all know a quick update, and that is that the Zone Trader training series will be available to get access to on the 23rd of October. To give a quick summary of what this training series covers, it covers how to identify important zones on the daily chart and how to trade within these important areas on the 1 hour time frame. To give a bit more detail before getting into this week's review, the method conveyed in this training series combines identifying important zones on the daily chart, high probability trading areas, then when price tests one of these areas, looking for a particular type of retest pattern formation in this area on the 1 hour chart. And if the right type of retest pattern forms, suggesting a valid price action setup, then evaluating risk to reward of the potential setup to ensure reward potential is much more than the risk before considering a trade. Okay, so that gives you a bit more information on what is covered in the Zone Trader training series. To find out more on the Zone Trader training series, visit the Coming Soon page or wait until Tuesday, which is the release day. Also, on the Coming Soon page, I added an expected release countdown timer. Okay, with that being said, let's get into this week's edition of the review and see what's happening on the charts. Okay, the first product holder is USD, and I'm on the daily chart. Last week in price action, USD pulled back and retested the 114.64 low area. Unfortunately, price didn't continue to the upside for all those people that are holding a buy trade on this market. And instead, price formed a high deeply in this low area. And then the bears took control, pushing price down to retest the 114.64 low area where the bulls are defending at the moment. What I'd like to hold in this market this week is that where price is testing the 114.64 zone area, that this is an area on this market, a great area on this market to consider a bullish opportunity in this area and look for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to this recent high and low area as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially we look for a move all the way up to the 117.32 zone area to the upside. So overall on USD, holding that where price is retesting the 114.64 zone area, that this is an area on this market, a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area and look for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to this high and low area as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially move all the way up to the 117.32 zone area to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, the next pillar to cover is US dollar Swiss, and I'm on the daily chart. Last week in price action, US dollar Swiss pulled back. However, unfortunately, didn't pull back all the way into the 98.30 zone area, which was an area that I held last week in the review as a potential bullish evidence area. Instead, price pulled back into this low area, looking left back here, where the bulls took control, pushing price to the upside all the way up to this previous high area, looking left. What I'd like to highlight on this market this week is two important zones. The first area I'd like to highlight is the 98.30 zone area. This is the same zone that I held last week in the review. Wanting to highlight that this is an area that if price tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where we're looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if it's right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this previous high area, looking left, or potentially looking for a move all the way up to the $1.33 zone area to the upside. Now the $1.33 zone area is also another area I'd like to mention on this market as well this week. And in the case of the $1.33 zone area, this is an area to the upside that if price tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if it's the right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this previous high area, looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way down to this low, or potentially looking for a move all the way down to the 98.30 zone area to the downside. So overall on US dollar Swiss, holding the 98.30 zone area as a potential pullback area on this market, an area where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential with the upside from this important area, and also on the $1.33 zone area as an area to the upside. And in the case of the $1.33 zone area, this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence and a potential with the downside from this important area. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, next pillar to hold is GBUSD, and I'm on the daily chart. Last week in price action, GBUSD's price declined all the way down to test the 130.50 zone area, which is a potential bullish evidence area on this market. And so my bias on this market this week is that where price is testing right now, where price is retesting, which is the 130.50 zone area, an area that acted as support on the previous test back here, did test it quite deeply on that previous test, but it did hold this important zone, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a Rod's bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this high area, or potentially looking for a move all the way up to the 132.85 zone area to the upside. So overall on GBUSD, holding that where price is testing right now is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area and a potential with the upside from this important zone. Potentially a move all the way up to those recent highs, or all the way up to the 132.85 zone area to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, the next pillar to cover is AUD, and I'm on the daily chart. My bias on AUD hasn't changed, so I'll keep the review of this market short. Wanting to highlight once again on this market, the 71.63 zone area as an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. As you can see, price action came very close to testing this zone last week before the bears took control, pushing price to the downside. This is an area that on retest of this important zone, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area and a potential move to the downside, potentially looking for a move all the way down to this recent low on this market, or potentially looking for a move all the way down to the 70.20 zone area to the downside. Now the 70.20 zone area is also another area I'd like to mention on this market, and in this case this is an area to the downside that if price action tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area and a potential with the upside, potentially move all the way up to this recent high, or potentially move all the way up to the 71.63 zone area to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that market. The next pair I'd like to cover is New Zealand USD, and I'm on the 4-hour chart. Last week in price action, New Zealand USD broke above and closed above the 65 zone area. And now the market's done this, what I'd like to highlight is that if price pulls back and tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a Rod's bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to this recent high as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially looking for a move all the way up to the 66.94 zone area to the upside. Now the other zone I'd like to mention on this market this week is the 66.94 zone area. And in the case of this area, this is an area to the upside where if price tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if I see Rod's bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this recent high as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially looking for a move all the way back down to the 65 zone area to the downside. Now if I zoom out, you can see that previous low looking left back here, and you can also see that previous high looking left back here as well. Okay, well that's it for New Zealand USD. Okay, the next pair I'd like to cover in this week's review is Euro Yen, and I'm on the daily chart. My bias on Euro Yen is similar to Euro USD, and that is where price is currently testing, which is the 128.96 zone area. That this is a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area, and look for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to these previous highs, looking left, or potentially move all the way up, all the way back up to the 131.76 zone area to the upside. So overall on Euro Yen, holding the 128.96 zone area as an area on this market, a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area, and look for a potential move to the upside from this important zone. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, next pillar to cover is GPAD, and I'm on the daily chart. On GPAD, what I'd like to highlight is where price is testing right now, which is the 183.46 zone area, which is this previous high area, looking left back here. This is a great area in the trend on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area, and look for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to the 186.90 zone area, or potentially even higher on this market in the trend. Okay, well that's it for GPAD. Overall holding that where price is testing right now, which is the 183.46 zone area, which is this previous high area, looking left, that this is an area on this market, a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area, and look for a potential move to the upside from this important zone. Okay, well that's it for that market. Okay, next pillar to cover is New Zealand Yen, and I'm on the daily chart. Recently, this market retested the 72.47 zone area, which is this previous important low area on this market where the bulls took control, pushing price to the upside from this important zone. What I'd like to highlight in this market this week is the 74.93 zone area as a potential long-term target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 72.47 zone area. And also wanting to highlight the 74.93 zone area as not only a potential long-term target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the 72.47 zone area, but also wanting to highlight that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if I see right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down, all the way back down to the 72.47 zone area to the downside. So overall on New Zealand Yen, holding the 74.93 zone area as a potential target area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 72.47 zone area where the bulls took control. And also holding the 74.93 zone area as an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence and a potential with the downside from this important zone. And if we look left at the previous test of the 74.93 zone area, you can see it acted as really strong resistance, looking left back here and back here in the recent past. Okay, well that's it for that market. The next market I'd like to highlight in this week's review is gold, and I'm on the daily chart. My bias on gold is the same as what I highlighted last week in the review, so I'll keep my review of this market short, and that is waiting to see if price will pull back and test the 12.11 zone area. This is an area on this market that if price pulls back and tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see a right bullish evidence in this area, it's an if-then process, then potentially looking for a move all the way up to the 12.39 zone area, or potentially even higher on this market in the trend. So overall on gold, holding that if price pulls back and tests the 12.11 zone area, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential move the upside from this important area. And like I've mentioned in previous reviews, when a market tests an important zone on the daily chart, such as an important zone that I highlight in these reviews, that a trader doesn't have to look for aligning evidence and a potential opportunity in this area on the daily chart. A trader could be looking for aligning evidence and a potential opportunity in this area on the daily, the 4 hour, or the 1 hour, or whatever time frame suits them as a trader. Okay, well that's it for me for this week's edition of the review. Thanks for watching. If you appreciate this video today, please do not forget to click the like button to show your support. Every like is appreciated. And it's a great way of letting me know you want more videos like this on a regular basis. If you have a comment below this video. Also, if you haven't checked out the Forex training on the website, such as the Engulfing Trader, the 5-day training series, or the Candlestick training series just yet, well, you can find out all about this Forex training by clicking on the links below this video. Okay, well, I hope you all have a great trading week and happy trading.